Do you want to hear from these people?
If we're hearing from all of those witnesses, then I want to sort of hear it, because I realize, again, having watched this thing transpire over the last few years and the nonsense perpetuate itself, I definitely want to hear from the other side. Hearing from everyone is totally fair. That's not what we've seen so far while the Democrats have controlled the process. It has not been fair in any way, shape, or form.
That was Donald Trump Jr. telling Maria on Sunday Morning Futures that he would welcome witnesses from both sides. This as President Trump and his legal team will present their written defense to the Senate by noon today, and the trial set to begin tomorrow afternoon. Joining us now, Florida Congressman, House Judiciary Committee member Greg Steube. Do you expect witnesses to be called? I point back to the Clinton impeachment. 3 witnesses were interviewed behind closed doors, excerpts played via videotape. But again, the interviews happened out of the sight of the American people. What do you think happens here, Congressman?
Yeah, I agree with Don Jr. I think Republican witnesses should be called. If you look at what we did in the House, we repeatedly asked for witnesses, both in the secret process that Adam Schiff did down in the SCIF, and in the judiciary process, we had a list of different witnesses that we wanted called, and we were denied by Democrats. So it would be nice to have Republican witnesses called. And the other thing that'll be nice as this moves to the Senate now is the president actually has an opportunity to have his counsel present. You know, all of these fact witnesses that the House heard, not a single one of them got cross-examined by the president's counsel, unlike every other single impeachment in the history of our nation where, say, Bill Clinton's personal lawyer had the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses in front of the entire nation in the Judiciary Committee. That didn't happen in this process because the Democrats wanted to create a narrative that was only the information that they wanted to get out. That's why they had the hearings down in the basement of the Capitol and only leaked things that they wanted to be leaked, not the whole story. And then they selected the public witnesses that they wanted to bring out to further that narrative. So I look forward to it going to the Senate, where we have the president's counsel has the ability to have conversations and to represent the president. And I hope they do call some of these Republican witnesses.
Hi, Congressman. Kelly Torrance here. Impeachment is the jurisdiction of the Judiciary Committee. You're on that committee. Why do you think that Adam Schiff, then, who's not on your committee, played the lead role? And do you think, I mean, the way that this was conducted, you were in the hearings, of course, that we couldn't be at, was it done fairly?
It certainly wasn't done fairly. I think Pelosi had Schiff run it because she had more confidence in Chairman Schiff than in Chairman Nadler. If you look at how the Mueller hearing went, like if we back up, this impeachment narrative has been going on for years. And I started out my congressional career in the whole Mueller-Russia collusion hoax. And so in the Judiciary Committee, they brought in Robert Mueller in a public hearing. They probably didn't know exactly what he was going to say, and it fell flat for Democrats. So they didn't want that to happen again. So instead of having a public hearing where they don't know exactly what's going to be said, they had these secret hearings in the basement where the public wasn't allowed. Not even other members of Congress were able to come in and listen to the testimony, so they could control the narrative and the bad things they didn't want to have posted, and then they would leak the things that were damaging to the president.
Just really quickly, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is hoping for a swift trial, reportedly drafting a so-called kill switch to allow President Trump's team to quickly dismiss articles after some evidence has been presented. Do you think that flies?
Well, listen, the Constitution says in order to impeach a president, you have to have treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. Putting my lawyer hat on, when those articles of impeachment come over to the Senate, now it's a trial. And if I was the lawyer for the president, the actual articles of impeachment include abuse of obstruction of Congress and abuse of power, neither of which is included in the Constitution. So after the presentation of the House's impeachment manager's presentation of the case, as a lawyer, I would absolutely move to dismiss on the grounds that you haven't met the very high threshold that is prescribed in the Constitution of high crimes and misdemeanors, treason, or bribery. And I absolutely would ask for the case to be dismissed on those grounds. That's
some of the argument that we've already heard from Alan Dershowitz, who is on the team for his constitutional expertise. Congressman, good to see you. Congressman Greg Steube.
Yeah, thanks for having me.